Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick update on some upgrades I've got on this bike. Since the last bike check I did with this, I have gone to a Springdex spring on the RockShox Super Deluxe Ultimate downhill coil. I've also switched to a Vittoria Enduro front, Vittoria Martello Enduro rear, and this is not the Enduro Race 1C. This is the older Enduro 4C compound, which I did on purpose for a couple reasons I'll explain here. So, and I also have the new Vittoria Enduro insert in the front and the new Vittoria downhill insert in the rear, which I'll insert a video here in just a second showing you a comparison on the rim between those and RimPact Pro version 2 that I had. But we'll start with the tires. So I have been running tons of different tires. Now, back when the Mazda was released years ago, I ran those and I really liked them. And since then I have done Maxxis, I've done Dissectors, Assegi's, Specialized, Butchers, Eliminators. I've done V-Rubber, Michelin, just all kinds of different things. And I finally am like, you know what, I'm willing to pay a little bit more to go back to these Vittoria tires for a couple reasons. One reason is I believe the cornering knobs on this Mazda are the best in the business. They don't fold over, but they're still sticky enough and gummy enough to work, and they last. The actual knobbies on these tires just seem to last way longer than a lot of other tires. I don't know if it's the graphene that's in them, that you know, it's no nonsense, and they roll for how much grip you get. These tires roll much faster. I rode at Shepherd Mountain yesterday. I hit the same lines I've hit tons of times, and I'm telling you, the roll speed that I had going down those trails was very noticeably much better. Didn't have to work so hard to get my speed built up. Now, you do have a little bit of a trade-off. When you're straight up and down on some of the slick rocks or braking, they don't brake quite as hard as a true downhill tire, like a Maxxis Max Grip or a V-Rubber, you know, full 40 or top 40 or whatever it's called. I will fully admit that. However, when you're cornering, once you get on the side knobs, which are a softer compound, you can see this Martello. This is Martello design, and there's shadows. Kind of looks like a motocross tire. It's been around for a long time, but once you get on the side knobs of these Vittorias, they are pretty gummy, but they're still supported. You know, this was my problem with like a Maxxis Dissector. When it was brand new, it was great, but those side knobs were so small and unsupported that somewhere like Shepherd Mountain, where you're riding a ton of off camber with very unforgiving granite abrasive rock, they would just shred so fast. And I wanted that rolling speed back, which I would say this Martello probably rolls faster, for sure faster than a Max Grip Dissector, probably in line with more like a Max Terra. But it's gonna last me longer. And I'm willing to give up just a little bit of the braking here and there for the speed and the wear. Now, Springdex, try to get to the other side here. So when this bike came, it came with a Fox DHX2 coil, had the orange spring. That was a 425 pound spring, and it just felt way too soft. So I bought the Fox 450 spring. It definitely felt like the right spring. But then I had an opportunity to get this RockShox shock, just trade for it. And I was really excited because this RockShox coil has the hydraulic bottom out assist, which is this little purple adjuster here, which for a coil is really, you can definitely feel the difference. But the spring I got with it, which looked cool because it was the red, it was a 450 pound spring. Well, not all springs are created perfectly, and I don't know if the Fox was soft or if the RockShox spring was extra stiff, but it was too stiff. I could not, I mean, I was running it a full turn looser than you're really supposed to, and I still could barely get 25% sag. And and it definitely, the bike did not have the plushness that it had with the Fox. And so I went ahead, bit the bullet, got this Springdex spring, which is adjustable from 390 to 430 pounds by shortening the effective length. Right now I'm running it at 417 and a half, because it's 2.5 increments, and I've got it between the 15 and the 20. And I'm still not really getting 30% static sag, but let me tell you, you can tell it is a softer spring. This bike feels so much more planted and stable and predictable through the rough stuff. The traction is much better. It once again, it feels like a coil is supposed to feel. And so I've really loved that. With that on there, I have really come to love this bike. It's a little easier to get in and out of the tight stuff than my Enduro was. It pedals just as well. I know it's got a coil, but I'm able to do certain sections that I know were a chore to pedal into on any bike, and I'm doing them just as well on this bike as anything. Have tons of confidence on it now. Still loving the Manitou fork, but just wanted to give you an update that if you are someone looking for new tires, I would say give the Vittorias a chance. I know they're not as popular as a Maxxis, but I think they are better designed. I mean, the man who designed the Minion DHF over 22 years ago designed this Mazda to basically be an upgrade on the DHF in every way possible, and it is. It does everything a DHF does, but better. So I'm a big believer. I love them. My daughter's about to try to squirt me with water. She better not. But if you are considering, if you've got a coil and you're not quite happy with it, or you're thinking about getting one, I would encourage you to get the Springdex. It kind of stinks that it costs 150 bucks, but man, you can really get the thing dialed in like you can air. You know, air, you can be so precise. Well, Springdex, you can do. I might have to spank a child. Stop. This is real life, people. With the Springdex, you can adjust in 2.5 pound increments. That is very minute. So it's worth it. I would say get it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want to know more about this bike, you can watch my other review on it that has a lot more info. Thanks.